Welcome to the Coastal Kitchen. Hi, I'm Karen Mashures, and today it's all about the way I like it. We're celebrating our 100th show today, and we're going to be looking back at some of my favorite things. We're also going to make one of my favorite desserts. You can see all these good things in front of me. It's a Raspberry Banana Split Trifle. Can't wait to show you all these great ingredients that go into making this fabulous dessert. First, though, we're going to look back at one of my favorite dishes. It's baked chicken wings. We are ready to make our baked barbecued chicken wings. And what I have done is I have covered a baking pan in tin foil. I've put a baking rack on top, and I have washed my chicken and I patted it dry. I want it to be completely dry when I do this. The next thing I want to show you is these wings. The tips need to come off. So I just pull them back just a little bit, and all you have to do is cut through. So we'll do a couple of those real fast. Let's pull it back. Now 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Just want those right over the top. I've got salt and pepper, 3/4 of a teaspoon each. I have got 1.5 teaspoons of paprika, and I use the smoky warm one. And then we have got garlic powder. Same, 1.5 teaspoons. And all I'm gonna do is just mix it up. So we are shaking this up, gonna cover them, and let's give them a toss. And we are going to put our chicken wings right on this tray. And big thing is you want to make sure that they don't touch. Keep them just far enough apart. Now I have a preheat oven to 425 degrees. And we're going to let these chicken wings stay in there for about 30 minutes. And then I'm going to turn them. I'm only going to turn them once. So then after they get done, they'll go in another time. And this is a real easy barbecue sauce because you take the favorite one that you have, and I've got it right here on mine, a cup, just a cup. Hot sauce, I use Texas Pete because that's my favorite, and I have to do it the way that I like it. We've got a tablespoon of that, 3 tablespoons of ketchup, 1/4 of a cup of honey. And it now just needs to be stirred a little bit, and we're gonna put it on the burner, let it simmer for about 3 minutes. Okay, just want it on a medium heat. And we're just gonna let it sit for about 3 minutes. I'll tell you what, you need to try those chicken wings. They really are juicy, and that sauce is phenomenal. Now, let's get on to our trifle. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put brownies at the base of our trifle. And so we're making some homemade brownies. I'm gonna quick tell you what we've got. Melted butter, 2 sticks. And the melted butter is cooled. I did that a little bit earlier. So we're gonna put that in our great big bowl here. Make sure we get all of that out. Okay. The next thing that goes in, 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. And we're just gonna let that start to melt right in there. The next thing that goes in is granulated sugar. And I've got a cup and 2 tablespoons. So we're gonna put that in right now and just give it a nice stir in. A cup and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Now, the brown sugar will help it crisp up a little bit, and it really gives it a nice texture. You'll really see a difference in brownies with brown sugar. All right, let's get this mixed up real good. All right, this looks absolutely great, just the way it's supposed to. And I'm gonna add some vanilla in now. 4 teaspoons of vanilla extract. We're gonna put a teaspoon of salt. That brings out the sweetness in the brownie. And I'm just gonna give that a quick stir before I put my eggs in. And I've got 4 eggs and they are at room temperature. You need these eggs at room temperature so they don't do anything they're not supposed to do once you get them in the oven. Okay, just give that a nice squish so I can use my whisk. And I'm gonna whisk this until it turns a little bit lighter in color and the eggs are completely incorporated. All right, this is all ready to get the dry ingredients. Now, the dry ingredients have to be sifted, and we have got a cup of cocoa powder, and this is really good cocoa powder. And the one thing you want to do is make sure you put really good ingredients, high quality stuff in the brownie. And then on top of that, I'm putting a cup of all-purpose flour. And I'm just gonna give this a nice sift. All right, that's got that in. Now, this is a part you wanna pay attention to. We're going to fold the dry ingredients into the wet. Don't want to really give this big stirs, just a nice fold to get all of the ingredients wet. All right, now that takes a minute or two to get it completely moist, but just keep folding until you get it ready. Let me move some of these things over here because I want my pan. Now I have a 9x9 pan and I have put 2 pieces of parchment paper in it just so it's easy to get out. When I want to get it out, I'm going to cut it in 1-inch type squares to go in the bottom of my trifle dish. So let's get this thick, gooey brownie mix into the pan. Okay, looks like we've got just about all of it in there. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to take a really small offset spatula and I'm going to spread this evenly into the corners. I want it to be just about the same thickness all the way across the pan. All right, just about got it even. Now, you can do it the way you like it. I have made it with chocolate chips and chocolate chunks inside the batter, but I like to take the chocolate chips and sprinkle them on the top, and I'm really generous. So if you want, you can put about a cup in the batter. If you don't want it in the batter, just put it on top. They'll melt while they bake. And I've used a mixture of both milk chocolate and dark chocolate. Okay, now this is the brownie mix. It's gonna go in the oven, 350, for between 30 and 40 minutes, depending on your oven. So let's get this in so we can start working on our custard as soon as we come back from having a word from our sponsors.
Our mom plus Charlotte Electric plus Maytag equals 1 legendary apple pie. It begins with the finest ingredients kept Maytag fresh. Then, Maytag's precise baking means the flakiest, tastiest crust ever. Finally, her ultra-quiet Maytag dishwasher makes cleanup ultra easy. Mom, apple pie, and Maytag. Dependably yours at Charlotte Electric stores.
Okay, I'm getting ready to start to make this custard, and I don't know if you've seen it, and usually I don't recommend a brand, but Bird's Custard is an English custard powder, and I got used to growing up on this, so that's what I'm using today. I've got 8 tablespoons of Bird's Custard right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put about 8 tablespoons of cold milk right on top of this. Okay, that's 8. And what I've got on the stove is I've got 4 more cups of milk, and I have started to make it simmer, want to bring it up to a boil, and I'm going to add the rest of that, so it's a total of 6 cups. All right, now let's just make a paste. And you know, while that's boiling and while I'm making this paste, why don't we take a look at one of my favorite things. It's called German potato salad. You'll love it. Our potatoes I have already cooked. I got 5 pounds of potatoes, put them in my big pot, let them boil for about 20 minutes. I've peeled them and I have halved them. So let me give you some options. If you want to use new potatoes or red potatoes, absolutely fine. Just stick them in there, skins and all. If you want to keep the skins on, that's your option. It's the way you like it. Okay, now let me do this first. I'm going to reserve some of this potato liquid. So I'm just going to put that in my colander. All right, got my great big skillet. And I'm going to put it right here. Let's get rid of this real fast. And I'm going to cut up some bacon. Okay, got this all cut up into just about 1 inch slices. I'm going to put a couple tablespoons of olive oil in here. And now my bacon. I'm going to take these potatoes one at a time, and I'm going to slice them about 3/4 of an inch. Just want them nice and thick. And if something breaks apart, don't worry about it. It'll go right in to the potato salad. All right, I'm going to check my bacon real fast. And it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take out just a nice scoopful, because I want to use this as a garnish on the top. I'm going to throw in my red onions now, all chopped up, ready to go. We're going to cook these about 7 minutes. All right, now the bacon's done really beautifully with the onions. I'm going to let that set for just a minute, and I'm going to make our little sauce that goes in here now. Okay, I've got some sugar. I've got some chicken stock. I've got some mustard. Nice spicy brown mustard, and you can use any kind of spicy mustard is good. All right, now it's time for my vinegar. It seems like a lot of vinegar, but about 3/4 of a cup. And just stir in. Now I'm going to put this right on top. It's what gives it that lovely tart flavor. Got tart and sweet. I'm going to put just about 1/4 of a cup of the water that the potatoes cooked in. Gives it that little starchy addition, because this is going to thicken up and all of our potatoes are going to absorb. Just remember, keep that until you're finished cooking, because you might have to add just a little bit more. Potatoes are going to go in now, and all I'm going to do is drop this right into the liquid. Right. You can tell why I make 5 pounds, because I love it and everybody else in my family does too. Just turn them over gently. I'm starting to cut up some chives, and I like a lot of chives. I've got my potatoes out of my pan, on my platter, and it's time to do my garnishing. Just a nice sprinkle all the way across the top. And I'm going to use some parsley I'm gonna put just a little sprinkle of salt, little sprinkle of pepper, my bacon. All right, we've been working on this custard. Let's see if you can make that potato salad, because it really goes good with those wings. We're gonna put in some sugar right into the custard powder. It's gonna thicken it up a little bit. And I can hear the milk on the back. It's getting ready to bubble. So let's get that together. Okay, this milk is just about ready. So what I'm gonna do is take it off my heat, and I'm just going to take a big tablespoon, and I am going to stir this around. Want to temper this just a little bit. All right, one more. Let's make it 3, just so we can make sure all that sugar is dissolved. Pour about 1/3 of it right in here. I'm gonna put this back on the stove, and this is going into the rest of the milk, and we're gonna bring it back up to a boil. All right, this has boiled, and you can tell it's gotten thicker. So we're going to bring it right over here. It is time to put vanilla in. So I'm gonna put a tablespoon of vanilla and stir it right up. Now this will thicken as you go. I don't know if I've ever said this on camera, but my mother was British, and I was there until I was 12 years old, and this trifle is really one of my most favorite desserts ever. We've got to let this cool before we put it on the trifle. So I'm gonna put it in this bowl. I'm gonna put some saran wrap over the top so it doesn't form a film, and then when it cools, it'll be ready to go in the trifle. All right, we're gonna get this in the fridge, and we are going to take a look at beautiful loaf of bread. You'll have to try this recipe too. It's an old recipe from Ireland, and it is Caraway soda bread. So let's take a look. I've got 3, and let me get my half here, 3½ cups of all-purpose flour. And just remember, when you get flour, don't pack it in, just level it off. All right, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of caraway seeds, and a teaspoon of baking soda. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take a fork and really stir that around, get everything all mixed up. This bread is really wonderful because it doesn't have to rise, so you can make it really quick. Okay, let's start with our buttermilk. I'm gonna make a little bit of a well, and I'm gonna pour in my buttermilk little by little, and I've got a little extra because if it's too thick, you just wanna add a little bit more buttermilk at a time. Okay, now this is the consistency you want. You want it to sort of form a ball and be a little bit wet. Okay, let me get that off there. I'll put it right there. And I'm gonna get some more flour. I need a little bit of flour on my board. Let's save that in case I need some more. Now it's time to put some flour on the top, and we're just gonna knead it gently. Okay, you can see the type of loaf that I'm forming right now. I want to make sure that it's all together. Okay, I'm just shaping the loaf the way that I want to right here. I've made it a little bit elongated instead of perfectly round. And I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to make a cut about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch down both sides. Now, I have my bread Silpat. And what I'm gonna do is just pick this up, put it right there. Okay, now this is gonna go in a 425 degree oven for 35 minutes until it turns nice and golden brown. All right, let's take a look. Oh, golly, looks perfect, smells wonderful. Wish you were here to taste it. I have gotten our brownies out of the oven and they are cooled. TV is wonderful. You get to pass by a whole lot of time. All right, let's get this thing started. I'm taking it out of my pan, and what I'm gonna do is just bring this parchment down a little bit. I've got some raspberry jam, and it's got a couple of other flavors in it too. And I'm gonna put probably 4 teaspoons, maybe 5, just depending on how much it looks like it's covered. So let's start just spreading this out. All right, that's done. Now, I'm gonna cut these into 1-inch squares, or as close as I can get to 1-inch squares. So I'm just gonna come down, and I want this to fit in the bottom of my trifle dish. So I'm gonna keep cutting. I'll show you how big I'm gonna get it. Just about this size. Okay, that also saves a little bit of cleanup time too, because the parchment paper absorbs it. Now, what I have done is I have taken my punch bowl and I have gotten it already. I needed 2 batches, so I made one earlier. But we're gonna take some more of these and put down in the bottom. And don't worry if they break apart, it's okay. It's all right. Now, what I did earlier was I made some raspberry jello. And I used 2 packages of raspberry jello, and I quick set it. There's directions right on the package. Rather than making my own gelatin, this just makes it so much easier. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spoon this right over the top of the brownies. I want it to go in between and fill in all the spaces. And this is the only level that has the raspberry gelatin. Okay, got a little bit there. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some raspberries, and I am going to put raspberries right in the crevices. Then I'm gonna put the rest of it on the top. So let's stick some raspberries down so you can see them. Okay, last one for this. And I'm gonna go right back to my gelatin and cover these raspberries up. All right, now it's time for chocolate pudding, and I've got some chocolate pudding in my refrigerator. I'm gonna get it out right now. All right, now chocolate pudding, if you are really good at making chocolate pudding, you can make your own homemade. This is a very good chocolate pudding that came from a box. And we're just gonna put that right on top. And I'm gonna just push it around a little bit. Okay, now I have gotten all of the chocolate pudding down, and we are going to put this in the fridge. It's got to set, and then we'll come back and finish it up.
Merge TV from ATMC is the new way to watch TV. It's your ATMC cable TV package delivered to your favorite streaming device without cable box fees. Plus, get great features like cloud DVR and look back up to 72 hours. And Merge TV isn't just on TV. Watch on your other internet-connected devices too, anywhere in your home, so you never miss a minute of fun. Add Merge TV to your ATMC bundle and save. Merge TV from ATMC. It's the new way to watch.
All right, it's time to finish this trifle up. I'll tell you what, I can't wait to have those wings and that German potato salad, and I love that bread and butter, so we're gonna have that and we're gonna have this trifle. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm putting bananas in, and I'm just gonna stick a couple out on the outside, and then I'm gonna cover the whole interior with bananas. This is the part of the banana split. All right, that's the bananas. Rinse my hands off real fast. And now I'm going to get my custard. And I'm just gonna spoon the custard right over the top. Now it's still thin, but it will set up once it gets into the fridge. And most of the time you need to at least have about 3 hours in the fridge before you plan on serving it. And you know, you don't have to make it all in one day either. You can make the brownies one day and then you can make the puddings the next day. All right, last little spoonful, gonna smooth it out just a little bit. Now I've made some whipped cream, and the whipped cream and all of the recipes, all you have to do is go to Facebook and search for the Coastal Kitchen and you'll find us. So you can get those recipes, and you can also catch up on any episodes that you've missed. Now, whipped cream. Okay, let's start spreading. Just bring it out to the edge. And now we're ready to decorate. I've got a piece of mint. I'm gonna put that right in the center. And I'm gonna grab some more raspberries so people know what's in there. And we're gonna put a few raspberries around. And I have some nuts. And if you're not from my generation, you might not remember what they are, but they're called wet nuts. And this recipe's online too. So you can just go to the Coastal Kitchen, and I'm gonna put some of these around so it makes it more like a banana split. Okay, let's put a little bit of chocolate on top. Just drizzle some around in any decoration that you like to do. And we're just gonna make this look like the festive occasion it's for. All right, we're gonna put everything out because I've been cooking while we've been doing this trifle, and we're gonna have another word from our sponsor, and we'll be back to show you off all the food that we made today.
How Mom plus Charlotte Electric plus Maytag equals 1 legendary apple pie. It begins with the finest ingredients kept Maytag fresh. Then, Maytag's precise baking means the flakiest, tastiest crust ever. Finally, her ultra-quiet Maytag dishwasher makes cleanup ultra easy. Mom, apple pie, and Maytag. Dependably yours at Charlotte Electric Stores.
I'm so excited to have done 100 shows with the Coastal Kitchen. I'd like to thank the sponsors and my staff, the crew. We have had a ball doing all these recipes for you. I hope you try them, the old ones and the new ones. Don't forget that trifle because it's really delicious. I want to say a big shout out to Freddie Bailey I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching the Coastal Kitchen, everybody. You're the ones that make it so special. And don't forget, you can go to Facebook, search for the Coastal Kitchen, and you can get the shows and our recipes. Thanks again.